where tradition can outweigh law, a teenager's voice was silenced forever. Her name was Fatemeh Soltani, 17 years old, full of dreams, and dead at the hands of her own father. A young beautician has been stabbed to death in the streets of the Iranian city of Islamshah by her father, who reportedly attacked her after she told her mother that he was having an affair. Fatemeh Soltani, an 18-year-old living in the repressive country, had been working secretly at a beauty salon, refusing to tell her family about her job due to her fear of her father's reaction. But her father managed to find her workplace by booking an appointment through a number listed on her business. When Fatemeh realized that her father was the one who made the appointment, she reportedly called her mother in distress. Fatemeh was killed on the salon's doorstep, local media reports, with harrowing CCTV footage showing her father jumping out of his car, dragging her to the floor, kneeling over her and stabbing her repeatedly. The horrific crime took place while people passed by on foot and in cars. The father reportedly only stopped when one passerby screamed. A close friend of the family told local media, Fatemeh had been living separately from her father and the family for some time due to domestic violence and had achieved financial independence. The National Council of Resistance of Iran's Women's Committee said in response to Soltani's death, "The root of the violence against women and the primary cause of these murders and social tragedies lies in the misogynistic clerical regime, which, in over 46 years, has not even passed the bill to prevent violence against women in its parliament. In this regime, the abuse and even killing of women carries little consequence." The Women's Committee of the National Council of Resistance of Iran has called on the UN Special Rapporteur on Iran and the UN Special Rapporteur on Violence Against Women to investigate this painful situation and to expel representatives of this misogynistic regime from international bodies. Iran does not provide accurate statistics on rates of femicide, meaning that local newspapers are often the only reliable source to track these cases. The Etemad newspaper reported that 78 women were murdered by their relatives or family members between March and September last year. Meanwhile, the Sharq newspaper reported that in 2023, male family members killed at least 165 women between 2021 and 2023. Of these, 27 women were murdered in the first 3 months of 2023 alone, with honor killings cited as a primary motive. These figures reflect only reported murders, and the actual number is likely much higher. On the morning of Thursday, April 16, 2025, Fatemeh's father contacted her through a phone number she had publicly shared on her Instagram page for work-related communication. Pretending to be a client, he obtained her workplace address and went to the beauty salon where she worked. In front of the salon, on the street, and in full view of passers-by, he attacked Fatemeh with furious shouts and stabbed her 14 times, killing her. After committing the murder, he turned himself in to the police, according to media reports citing Fatemeh Soltani's family, her support for her mother against domestic violence, her exposure of her father's infidelity and immoral behavior, and her desire for financial independence were reasons behind the murder. In his confession, the father cited family disputes as the motive for his crime. According to media reports citing Fatemeh Soltani's family, her support for her mother against domestic violence, her exposure of her father's infidelity and immoral behavior, and her desire for financial independence were reasons behind the murder. his confession, the father cited family disputes as the motive for his crime. Fatemeh Soltani's murder sparked a wave of outrage and sorrow among women's rights activists and social media users. Many called for reforms in laws concerning domestic killings, especially those involving women. One major criticism was the legal gap in imposing strict penalties on fathers who murder their children. Under Iranian law, a father, as the guardian of blood, Vali Adam, often faces reduced punishment if he kills his child, and in many cases is exempt from the qisas, retributive justice penalty. This issue was once again criticized in the case of Fatemeh Soltani. Some legal experts, pointing to the need for reform, called for a fundamental revision of Articles 301 and 302 of the Islamic Penal Code. Human being was decapitated, her head was displayed on the streets, and the killer was proud, said the reformist Daily Sazandagi. How can we accept such a tragedy? We must act so that femicide does not happen again. Lawyer Ali Morsahedzadeh, in the reformist paper Shah, blamed legal loopholes for paving the way for honor killings. Fellow Member of Parliament Elham Nadaf told the ILNA news agency, "Unfortunately, we are witnessing such incidents because there are no concrete measures to ensure the implementation of laws to prevent violence against women." Semi-official news agency ILNA quoted police officer Colonel Sohrab Hosseinidzad as saying the two defendants confessed to the murder during the police investigation and were introduced to the judicial authority. Local media said police did not elaborate further on the killing or who filmed the gruesome video of the husband carrying his wife's head. In Fatemeh's memory, a movement grows. Women in Iran and abroad are demanding change, louder than ever before. Fatemeh Soltani was not the first, and heartbreakingly, not the last. But her name now echoes in a fight for justice that refuses to be silenced.